In July 1863, Abraham Lincoln wrote a letter to General George Meade that was never meant to be remembered. Lincoln was angry. The Battle of Gettysburg had just ended, and Robert E. Lee's Confederate Army was retreating toward Virginia. Meade had won the battle, but Lincoln believed he had allowed Lee to escape when the opportunity to destroy his army was right in front of him. So Lincoln sat down and wrote what he really felt. He told Meade that he was distressed immeasurably by what had happened. The letter was finished. The criticism was written. The anger was real. But Lincoln never sent it. He folded it away and kept it. That small decision reveals something far more powerful than anger ever could. Lincoln had the authority to react, the reason to react, and the emotion to react. But he refused to let the emotion decide what happened next. And that tiny space between feeling something and acting on it is where real control begins. Most people think control comes from being powerful enough to make other people do what you want. But in everyday life, control often works in the opposite direction. Someone learns what makes you angry. Someone discovers how to make you insecure. Someone realizes that if they stop replying, you will chase them. If they criticize you, you will defend yourself. If they question your intentions, you will spend an hour explaining them. They don't need to control your entire life. They only need to understand which button to press. And once they know the button works, they don't have to press it very hard. That is why calm people can be so difficult to control. Not because they never get angry, not because nothing hurts them, and not because they have somehow eliminated emotion from their lives. They feel the same things everyone else feels. The difference is what happens next. Anger enters the mind, but it doesn't automatically become a message. Fear appears, but it doesn't automatically become a decision. Someone walks away, but it doesn't automatically make them chase. A calm person creates a pause between the event and the response. And inside that pause, something incredibly important survives: choice. Think about how often people lose that choice without realizing it. Someone sends a cold text, and you read it again and again, trying to understand what the punctuation means. A coworker takes credit for something you did, and suddenly your entire mood changes. Someone you care about becomes distant, and your first instinct is to reach out again, then again, because silence feels unbearable. Someone criticizes you publicly, and before you've even decided whether their opinion matters, you've already started defending yourself. None of these reactions feel like decisions. They feel automatic, but that's exactly what makes them dangerous. When someone can predict your reaction, they have already gained a certain amount of influence over you. The Stoic philosopher Epictetus understood this long before modern psychology gave us language for emotional regulation. He had lived as an enslaved person before becoming a teacher, and his philosophy repeatedly returned to a simple distinction. Some things belong to us, and some things don't. Your judgment belongs to you. Your choices belong to you. Your response belongs to you. Another person's opinion does not. The past does not. Chance does not. The final outcome of every situation does not. The world can put pressure on you, but pressure and control are not the same thing. That distinction becomes powerful when life stops being comfortable. Imagine receiving a message that makes you furious. Your first instinct is to answer immediately. You type the response. You make it sharper. Then you read it again and imagine how the other person will react. But what if you don't send it? What if you put the phone down and walk away for 30 minutes? Nothing outside you has changed. The message is still there. The person is still wrong, at least from your perspective. But something important has changed. The timing of your response now belongs to you. That may sound insignificant until you realize how many people live without that freedom. They respond instantly because they cannot tolerate the feeling of waiting. They explain themselves because they cannot tolerate being misunderstood. They chase because they cannot tolerate uncertainty. They argue because they cannot tolerate being disrespected. They check their phones because they cannot tolerate not knowing whether someone replied. The problem isn't always the emotion itself. Sometimes the real problem is that the emotion has learned how to give orders. And this is where calmness becomes something much deeper than simply staying relaxed. A calm person can still walk away angry. They can still confront someone. They can still end a relationship. They can still say, "That's unacceptable." Calmness doesn't mean becoming passive. It means the decision comes from judgment instead of emotional hijacking. There is a huge difference between refusing to respond because you're afraid of conflict and choosing not to respond because you've decided the conflict isn't worth your attention. Marcus Aurelius faced this problem from the opposite side of power. He was not a powerless man. He was an emperor surrounded by political pressure, military responsibility, family problems, illness, war, and people who wanted things from him. Yet his private writings repeatedly returned to the same struggle: how to govern yourself when you cannot govern everything around you. His meditations were never written as a public motivational book. They were personal reminders to himself. Even a man with enormous external power still had to fight the same internal battle everyone faces, deciding what deserves his attention. And that's the strange thing about emotional control. The more powerful you become externally, the more obvious it becomes that you cannot control everything. Money can't guarantee loyalty. Status can't guarantee respect. Intelligence can't prevent betrayal. Authority can't stop people from misunderstanding you. And no amount of success gives you ownership over another person's mind. So why do we keep trying? Because control feels like safety. If you can make them understand you, maybe they won't leave. If you can make them respect you, maybe they can't hurt you. If you can predict what they're thinking, maybe you won't be surprised. If you can control the outcome, maybe you won't have to experience disappointment. But life doesn't make that deal. There will always be someone you cannot convince. Someone who doesn't appreciate you. Someone who misunderstands you. Someone who leaves without giving you the explanation you wanted. And if your peace depends on getting those people to behave differently, then your peace belongs to them. This is why one of the strongest things you can learn is to stop needing an immediate reaction from the world. Someone insults you. You don't have to answer immediately. Someone ignores you. You don't have to chase immediately. Someone accuses you. You don't have to defend yourself immediately. Someone pressures you to decide. You can say, "I'll think about it." That sentence sounds ordinary, but psychologically it creates distance. And distance gives you something emotional pressure desperately wants to take away: time. Time lets the first wave of anger pass. Time lets you separate what actually happened from the story your mind immediately created around it. Time lets you ask better questions. What do I actually know? What am I assuming? Is this worth my attention tomorrow? And most importantly, what response will I respect when I look back on this? You don't need to become emotionless to become difficult to control. In fact, trying to become emotionless is another form of control. You are still fighting yourself. The stronger goal is different. Feel the anger. Just don't let it choose your words. Feel the fear. Just don't let it choose your direction. Feel the rejection. Just don't let it decide your worth. Feel the pressure. Just don't let it decide your timing. That's what emotional freedom actually looks like. And maybe this explains why some people become noticeably different as they grow older. They stop explaining everything. They stop responding to every accusation. They stop chasing people who repeatedly walk away. They stop trying to win every argument, not because they suddenly stopped caring, but because they finally realized how expensive their attention is. Your attention is one of the few things you can never get back. If someone ruins your morning and you spend the entire afternoon thinking about them, they didn't just affect one moment. They rented space inside your mind for the rest of the day. You can give that space away, or you can take it back. Abraham Lincoln felt the anger. He wrote the letter, but he didn't send it. Epictetus lived under circumstances he couldn't simply change, yet he insisted that judgment and choice could still belong to him. Marcus Aurelius ruled an empire and still had to remind himself that external power could never eliminate internal struggle. Their lives were completely different, but the lesson connecting them is surprisingly simple. You are hardest to control when your reaction is no longer automatic. People may still criticize you. Let them. They may misunderstand you. Let them. They may try to provoke you. Feel the anger, but don't surrender the decision. They may try to rush you. Slow down. They may walk away. Let them walk. Because calmness isn't about having a life where nothing hurts you. That's impossible. It's about becoming the kind of person who can be hurt without immediately destroying themselves in response. And eventually, something changes. The person who used to know exactly how to trigger you no longer knows what will happen. The person who expected you to chase realizes you won't. The person who expected an argument gets silence. The person who expected panic gets patience. Not because you've become cold, not because you stopped caring, but because your emotions are finally something you experience, not something other people get to operate. That is the real power of calmness. The hardest person to control isn't the person who shouts the loudest, threatens the most, or wins every argument. It's the person who can feel the pressure, sit with the emotion, wait for the noise to settle, and then decide for themselves what happens next.